I have Rolo Tomassi with me. Played an amazing show.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I was pretty happy with it. Like, it seemed to go down pretty well. A lot of people came.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like, we've been looking forward to this show. It's like been one of the highlights, I think, that we've been looking forward to this summer, and it lived up to expectation. It was great.
Your headline London show was amazing.
Yeah, that was really, really, really good. Like, that was definitely one that exceeded all expectations. It's just difficult with festivals sometimes, you know, you've got like very little time to get everything sorted out, and if anything doesn't quite sound right on stage, it can be really off-putting, and you got half an hour to kind of showcase everything about a band that you've been in for 13 years, and that's not really easy, but fortunately it sounded killer. Like, a ton of people came, we were all really happy with how we played, so it's good.
So let's talk Time Will Die and Love Will Bury It. It's a mouthful, isn't it? So what was it like writing the record?
A lot of fun. We really took our time with it. We felt that at 5 albums in, there's no real rush. It's not like we're a buzzy band that has to turn around a record really quickly because people are going to lose interest in it. We wanted to write something that we wanted to release that we felt was going to stand against the rest of our back catalogue, be better than anything we'd put out before. So for us, we just slowed things down, let everything just kind of happen organically, and like pushed everything to the extreme in terms of how things sounded. So we tried to make the heaviest stuff the heaviest it could possibly be, and the poppy stuff more poppy and grand than it's ever been before. And yeah, like, definitely a challenge, but we kind of thrive on that. And if it's not challenging, if I'm not getting anything out of it that's making me want to strive to be better, then I don't really want to do it. So it was yeah, a good experience.
In terms of vocals as well, you know, because I know that Aftermath is kind of the most clean singing there's been. Was that kind of nerve-wracking?
It was, yeah. I mean, when I started writing, it was kind of track by track, and it wasn't until the end of the record I realised kind of how much singing I'd put into it. So I definitely took my time in trying to better myself as a vocalist. So I do like a lot of different warm-ups now, and look after my voice a lot more. I'm a lot more careful with what I'm doing when we tour so that I can achieve those results live. So yeah, it was very challenging for me, but it's quite nice to be taken out of your comfort zone and push yourself that bit harder, because yeah, we've been doing it for a little while now, so it's nice that it feels new still, and there's still things that I'm pushing myself to do with it.
It's interesting because I feel like it's your most complete album, but it's also your most expansive album at the same time.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's very intentional to kind of make it this, yeah, we wanted to just it to be this like big, bold statement record that matched its title. I mean, we had the title before we started working on it, and kind of we used the title almost as a brief to write music to, and it was almost like soundtracking that one line, and then within that I kind of approached it like writing a soundtrack, and musically it's kind of a journey that kind of starts and sort of ends, but can also be quite cyclical in that you want to go back to the start of it, or it can like quite naturally go back to the start of the record. And I just wanted it to be something that people could get really lost in, and every time they listen to it they could get something different out of it. Like, you know, my favorite music are the tracks that you can go back to and you pick something different out every time, and you constantly feel like you're getting something from when you listen to it. It's not the kind of thing you just listen to once and you can just take it all in and then just push it away. Like, I wanted it to be a challenging listen, and for something that people wanted to keep going back to. And
what about the artwork? Because I feel it's really kind of like dreamy and quite ethereal.
So our friend Simon, he's always done our album artwork. He used to tour with us way back when and tour with other bands and stuff now. Now I think he's just working as an art teacher.
Yeah.
And just because we want a kind of aesthetic continuity with certainly with our album covers, we just always go back to him to do the records, and we'll give him the title and the lyrics, and if we've got it, we'll give him the music, and we just let him get on with it, and he'll give us the finished work, and that'll be it. And we've never had to change anything, we've never had to make any amendments, and that's just, we like working with him like that, and he always delivers and always matches the music well visually, and he just gets it.
So in terms of the UK scene at the moment, I feel like, you know, there's so many buzzing bands at the moment, but what do you guys think of the scene?
It seems to definitely be thriving. I mean, you know, we've got bands here this weekend, like Employed to Serve, our label mates. I mean, I'm just going to big up Holy Raw bands because I can. We played with Conjurer in Brighton on Thursday. We did a warm-up show for this. They're just absolutely unreal. Let's talk about Orchards as well, actually, not on Holy Raw. Like, friends of ours in Brighton, a very, very exciting, like, mathy poppy band. They're really, really cool. But it's a good time for music in England and the UK generally. Like, yeah.
Do you think there's kind of like a new movement sort of happening at the moment?
I think it's been there for a long time. I think people are starting to take notice to it.
This is kind of, you know, you can ask this together or separately, but where do your kind of influences lie in terms of, you know, your instruments and your voice?
I don't know, I was listening to a lot of more kind of pop punk and indie rock, a lot more like kind of more honest and open lyrics, I guess. So that kind of pushed me in writing, that I wanted to write a little bit more honestly than I have maybe, try not to cover things up a bit too much. So for me it was a very honest record. Again, that kind of made it hard to write because I find writing that way is a lot more difficult. But again, it was like quite a nice thing for me to do. I feel like I really threw myself into the lyrics on this one. Yeah.
What about you musically?
Musically, a lot of sort of ambient instrumental artists, like composers, people like Nils Fromm, Oliver Arnolds, Johan Johansson, and then like noisier artists like Tim Hecker, Winged Victory for the Sullen and Stars of the Lids, and like that's something that definitely influences my contributions as a keyboard player and as a songwriter. I wanted to kind of get a lot more space into certain parts of the record and like more minimal sections as well, like just to kind of counteract the really chaotic heavy stuff. And like that's music that just inspires me to want to be creative. I don't necessarily think our band sounds like any of those artists, but they're definitely people that make me want to write.
And finally, what does Time Will Die and Love Will Bury It mean to the two of you?
To me, I think it's about leaving the past behind you and learning to grow and let love in.
Kind of, letting things go, learning from mistakes, growing, going forward, finding peace, and
Thank you so much for having a chat.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.